Oh, it's wacky Bruce. No, hang on a second. Right. The world grows due to solar energies, and I put mud is growth. Solar energy hits the planet. Hydrogen and other elements floating through space get attracted to Earth. Loads of things like asteroids and meteorites make the world get bigger. Yeah. So as you can imagine, the sun might be consuming lots of energy, but it also attracts more energy from outer space. And if we can make sure our sun, the star, attracts more energy, consumes more energy from outside than it is within, then we can make sure it carries on burning forever. And what we can do is we can go out with collectors and collect stuff from other solar systems and interplanetary areas, and come back and feed our sun with energy, giving it more energy to carry on going for ages. Now, the way I explain this in simpler terms is, imagine the trees growing, right? And what happens is they suck water up from the ground. It's got all the minerals in it from the rain and the other surrounding stuff, like when its leaves fall off and it breaks down and becomes mud. Now what happens is, you'll find, let's say you put a couple of trees, deciduous trees in your back garden, big ones, fully grown ones. At the end of the year all the leaves fall off and they gather up. If you leave those leaves there and just cut your grass and let that lay there, don't pick it up, what happens is your garden builds up and gets higher and 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 higher every year, year in, year out. It doesn't matter what you do, it just carries on growing, and the earth is actually growing. It doesn't matter what you do, it grows. Well, and the trees help the planet grow by taking the solar energy, the free solar energy given to us from the sun, and using that as a chemical reaction and a biological reaction inside leaves, and it grows matter, and it puts matter into the tree trunks, and at the end of the year it drops its leaves off, and dropping its leaves off takes those extra bits of chemicals in the leaves that have, that cause the photosynthesis, and those extra bits of chemicals and minerals and what have you, they break down, and some of them get put back into the tree again, but some of it just ends up being mud, as we know, and that's what the tree grows in. So it makes its own kind of habitat, the tree does. Quite clever. Well, plants in general, not just the tree, all the plants in general, like, work together to build the soil up to make the soil more nutritious. And obviously the soil has to grow, and underneath it you get like different layers of sludge and clay and what have you, and like that. These are bits of earth which have had everything pulled out of them apart from the complete waste, and like clay is just the complete waste. It's not really useful for anything other than making pots with or whatever. The plants can't really use it. You plant it in clay and it doesn't really grow. But the idea is it keeps on getting bigger and bigger and bigger, so we get stuff like the fossil record, which is like proof of expansion. So like I'm saying, if you want to make our planet last forever, there's only one way you can do it. Go out there with big element collectors into interstellar space, grab loads of free elements from all over the shop and bring them back to our solar system and let them free in our solar system, and the sun will consume them, right? And the more we do of that, the longer our solar system will work. So if you want to do that, you can do that. Right? And because we're intelligent and we're evolved, we've now got that technology because I've just explained it. So we can make our sun last forever, because if our sun runs out of hydrogen, it'll get to a point where it just explodes and ends up being I can't remember what it's called now, is it a neutron star? Becomes a neutron star? I can't remember. It's just emitted neutrinos for the rest of its life, and then slowly fades out and becomes a lump of solid mass, which will probably, when another gas cloud forms around it, which it does, becomes a new sun and starts up again. So I think you'll find a neutron star probably is rebirth inside a gas cloud, because it's an excessive amount of mass and it rebirths another sun. So when our sun blows itself to bits and blows our solar system to bits and then becomes a neutrino star, all that gas and cloud and everything that's been blown out, all of a sudden comes right back in onto it again, creates a new sun again, and then it all starts again. The new Earth's made and everything like that. But it might not be as good this next time. Like, you know, it might not be enough Earth. So if we can stop that from happening by feeding it hydrogen from interstellar space, we can stop our sun from exploding as well. That's solar regeneration. Solar regeneration. How's that one for you? Stopping the cycle of boom and bust. Boom, bust, regrowth, boom, bust, regrowth, boom, bust. Well, it should be it should be boom, steady period, bust, regrowth, boom, steady period, bust, regrowth. It's a bit like our economy at the moment, isn't it? Right, that's boom and bust, boom, bust. That's life. Let's listen to some more news. This is where I get all the information from, the BBC.
Social services
They tell me everything.
But didn't contact police. 2 months later, baby P was visited unannounced by a social worker. He was taken back to hospital, and doctors found bruising in 12 different areas.
Work out, fight the flab, fight the flab.
With fractured
Then I
ribs,
go for a 6-mile walk and pick up a flapjack.
Been a broken back. A full examination wasn't carried out because baby P was miserable and cranky.
Not surprised with
Police
his
then told
teeth
his mother
punched
they would
out.
take no further action.
Oh, a bit miserable, isn't it, you are? A bit miserable and cranky. You know, it's got its teeth punched out.
Forced to sleep in this freezing bathroom, she too was returned to her killers, despite being hospitalised twice for her terrible injuries.
Post Victoria claimed here
That's called demonisation.
For a child to be felled across the board by police, social services, and
Not acceptable.
in this particular case.
Not acceptable.
That's the least I was expecting.
That's physical violence, mates.
Performed by the government, given the government plans in terms of better safeguarding children.
Those plans were based on 108 recommendations made at the inquiry into her death. It cost the taxpayer almost £4 million, and its chair, Lord Laming, believes the most important point, that children's needs be put before their families, was once again ignored by Haringey.
The issue is, why has
the council been allowed to get away with this again?
been implemented, and why is...
If that child had been allowed to grow up, it would probably cause £4 million worth of damage through violence, mindless violence in gangs, wouldn't it?
Other children might be in danger.
So £4 million on a court case was well spent.
Most vulnerable children were going backwards.
The child protection system has gotten much worse since 2003 when Lord Laming issued his...
The other children in the family.
So for instance now we don't actually have a child protection register any longer. It was in place for this little boy, but it's not in place any longer, which is obviously going to put a lot of our work to protect children in jeopardy.
Children like baby P, who now lies in a garden of remembrance, when his life could and should have been saved. Rachel Younger, Sky News, North London.
Sky Sarah Merchant has been following the case. She joins us live from the Old Bailey. First of all, Sarah,
I don't think I've been taken seriously.
That's going to be happening on December
I wasn't being taken seriously.
The sentencing of the mother of baby P, a 27-year-old
You live once.
pleaded guilty at the beginning of the trial to allowing the death of the child. Her boyfriend, a 32-year-old man, will be sentenced for causing or allowing the death of the child.
Moustaches are really annoying.
Jason Owen will also
Well, I'll undercut my moustache.
to spend at least 14 years.
Undercut it. Most people overcut it. I undercut it.
Now, they were the three that were
And that's entertaining now.
concerned with, but actually, throughout the trial, we've had evidence that
I've undercut it.
Child Protection Services failed to do their job.
I'm going to try and get just a long line across the top. I'll just have single whiskers going down the full length, so it looks like a moustache, but it goes straight to the
detective superintendent who led
straight to the lip.
investigation.
This is really funny. Oh, I've got a curtain moustache.
I mean, it's inevitable, Sarah, following from this almost inevitable, isn't it? There has to be some kind of
I've got a
inquiry.
curtain moustache.
This is the same council.